The next question up is, which Marvel and DC projects are you most excited to see? You wrote mostly Star Wars Galactica. I'm going to assume you mean most. And that is a good question. Now, I could give just very simple answers, but I wanted to kind of just make this a more of an in-depth, more fun question. So I'm going to elaborate and extrapolate a little bit on this question. I'm going to pick 2 for Marvel and 2 for DC. And within Marvel, I'm going to pick 2 more. So I'm going to pick my most anticipated Marvel movie and Marvel show, and then my most anticipated DC movie. But I'm also going to pick sleeper / dark horse picks. So I'm going to have, it sounds more complicated than it actually is, but I just wanted to, highlight some of the films that I'm really, really excited for. So my most anticipated obvious Marvel film, my most anticipated obvious Marvel show. Now, these are picks like everybody's excited for. Like, obviously you're excited for these. And then my most anticipated obvious DC film. And then I'm going to have my sleeper / dark horse picks for Marvel show, Marvel movie, and DC film. So the obvious most anticipated Marvel movie pick for me is Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. If you haven't seen my MCU Infinity Saga ranking videos, I adore those films. I just think they are some of the best MCU films, and I think Tom Holland is a perfect Peter Parker, honestly. And so, with the multiverse, with Doctor Strange, with potentially Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, I have no reason to doubt that Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be fantastic. I just do. And I think the obvious pick for the next Marvel show, so my most anticipated sort of obvious pick for the Marvel show is Moon Knight. I think out of the upcoming shows like Hawkeye and Miss Marvel and What If, I just think that Moon Knight stands up above the rest. She-Hulk and whatever. I think Moon Knight has the potential just to be awesome. I really do. I obviously would have said Loki. I would have said WandaVision, but until we see more footage from Hawkeye and Miss Marvel, we've seen footage from What If. I am excited, like we talked about earlier in the podcast, but not ridiculously so. But just based on concept and the actor they picked, Oscar Isaac, I am so incredibly excited for Moon Knight. So those are those 2 picks. Now, in terms of the dark horse pick for the MCU show, and by the way, for DC, I'm not just going to limit to DCEU. That might give away one of the picks. But anyways, the dark horse pick for most anticipated Marvel movie is The Eternals. I think The Eternals has the potential to be top 5 MCU. I don't necessarily have a ton to base this off of, except for the cast: Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kit Harington, Gemma Chan, Kumail Nanjiani. There's so many talented actors in this film. On top of that, the trailer looks great. The just execution of the concept looks great. And Chloe Zhao. Chloe Zhao is the most recent best director winner. And obviously Nomadland won Best Picture. I think that there is a great chance that The Eternals comes out to be my favorite movie of the year. I don't know that, but I'm just going to put that out there. The dark horse pick for my most anticipated Marvel show is going to be Armor Wars. I think that when you boil everything down to the characters of Rhodey and potentially Justin Hammer, I think the idea that the government trying to take back the Iron Man suit from War Machine, I really think that this has the potential to just be such a just vibrant, interesting, even philosophical show. Like, I think this would be the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but for Iron Man, like passing on the mantle, like who gets to be Iron Man from the government. They're trying to pick a Cap, they're trying to pick an Iron Man. I think this has the potential to be something special. I do. So those are those 4 picks. Now, for DC, the obvious pick for me for most anticipated DC movie is The Batman. I am just so ridiculously excited for The Batman. I think this has the potential to kick off a Nolan-esque trilogy of Batman movies. Batman, 1, 2, and 3 or whatever. I just do. I think it has the potential to be something extremely special. You talk about Robert Pattinson, talk about Matt Reeves, Colin Farrell, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. It just looks like it's going to be such a good film. So excited for that. The sleeper pick, the dark horse pick for DC film, is Black Adam. I think Dwayne Johnson, no matter what he's in, has the charisma to carry a movie. Now, doesn't mean that the movies he's going to be in are always good, but he has the charisma to carry a film. That is for sure. You put him in a superhero film, I suspect that this is going to be one of the most entertaining superhero movies in recent times. And he's been hyping up this movie. I know he has to hype up the movies he's in, but he has been really hyping up this movie for a long while. So I would think that the Black Adam film has some potential to it. I really do. So again, just to recap, obvious Marvel picks, Spider-Man No Way Home and Spider-Man No Way Home and Moon Knight. Sleeper Dark Horse Marvel show picks. No, what am I saying? Sorry. Scratch all of that. Let's start from the beginning. Obvious Marvel show and movie. Spider-Man No Way Home, Moon Knight. Dark Horse Marvel show and movie, Eternals and Armor Wars. Obvious DC film, The Batman. Sleeper / Dark Horse pick for DC, Black Adam. Those are my picks for my most anticipated superhero movies coming up. Again, there's a lot to be excited for. So you could have picked any one of those, any one of another ones, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, The Flash, anything, and it would have been just as valid. So